Hello and welcome back. As you know, in this module, we've been diving deeper into the topic of impact. In the last video, we looked at Inspiring Impact's 4-step method for impact measurement: plan, do, assess, review. We looked at the first step, plan, and talked about the theory of change and the outcomes matrix tool on good finance. In this video, we're going to be exploring the next 3 steps: do, assess, and review. Let's get started. The second key step is do. This is about measuring your performance against the key goals that you set for your organization, perhaps in your impact plan or in your theory of change. When it comes to impact measurement, there are a couple of ways of collecting the data that you need: surveys, interviews, focus groups, or data collection, such as application forms. What's important to remember for charities and social enterprises is A, to collect the data that makes sense, keeping in mind your activities and your resources, and B, to collect what's helpful for you when you're trying to tell your impact story to your key audiences. The data collected can be both qualitative and quantitative. Both numbers and stories are really important for letting people know about the impact that you're trying to create. Remember, there are a whole bunch of different types of data that you could collect, but what's important is to collect what's relevant and useful for your organization. It's also important to choose the data collection method that enables you to tell the most accurate story of your impact, keeping in mind the tools and the time that you have. But there are no numbers without stories and no stories without numbers. Both are really important for sharing your impact. Step 3, assess. This step is about making sense of the data that you collect and seeing if you're able to spot any patterns, themes, or trends which may enable you to draw conclusions. This step normally begins with a period of data analysis. There are 5 different types of data that you might be looking at. Number 1, user data. This is data about the characteristics or demographics of the users of your activities or services. Number 2, feedback data. This is information about how users are finding your activities and services and what they think about it. Number 3, engagement data. This is essentially data that gives you a better sense of how users are interacting with your activities and services and to what extent they use them. Number 4, outcomes data. This is information that enables you to get a better understanding of the learnings, changes, or results that have arisen from your activities. And finally, impact data. This is data that enables you to get a sense of the long-term change that you might be making. The data that you collect might be qualitative or quantitative, and it may be telling you different things. That's why this process of assessing it is really important, because it enables you to draw any trends or patterns and come to conclusions about what the data means. To understand these 5 different types of data, we really recommend you check out the Inspiring Impact website. Once you've collected this data and have a clearer understanding of the impact that you're creating, it will help you communicate it with social investors. Once you have this information, make sure you share it. There are some great examples out there, from glossy reports to quick videos to downloadable PDFs and annual reports. There are some great ways of sharing the data that you have. There might be some really rich information in there, so make sure you think about how you're going to communicate it. Step 4, review. Now that you've collected and assessed your impact data, this step is about reviewing the information that you have and reflecting upon it. It can be a really important step to help you work out what to do with your organization's programs and activities. It's also a really helpful step to consolidate your learnings and help you communicate with social investors. Impact measurement and management can be a huge benefit for organisations that choose to engage with it. What's key is to take an approach that's reasonable and realistic for your organisation and helps tell the story of your impact. Impact measurement and management should be a tool for you to communicate the change that you're making. It's not just about the data and the stories that you collect. It's about what you then do with them.